I'm Anya. I'm so excited to be here today with you. It's going to be hopefully a very actionable talk. I'm just going to say to the people out there that the speaker notes are not here, just as an FYI. Sorry. Okay, so I've been in e-commerce for 15 years, growing D2Cs from 1 to 100 million. I was a senior VP at Glasses USA running product, data science, retention, optimization, personalization. We grew the company and the revenue we actually doubled it every year for 7 years until we reached 9 figures. One of our biggest growth engines were experimentation and on-site personalization. Over time, I realized that Shopify brands have no good way of doing this, and that's how I created Visually. I co-founded Visually, and now I'm the CEO and co-founder of Visually. We power Shopify's leading brands like Andy Swim, Faherty, Skechers, Moroccan Oil, and of course Bonafide Health, to create a growth engine around optimization and on-site personalization and increase their revenue in over 30% annually. And with us today is the amazing Nargiza. Nargiza is one of the most inspirational women I met through my career. She's the director of e-commerce at Bonafide Health. She oversees their direct-to-consumer, their marketplaces, and she led Bonafide with her team to a double-digit growth annually, getting all the way to 9 figures through data-driven strategies, through new technologies, and also staying laser-focused on delightful customer experience. She has over a decade of experience in e-commerce, in fashion, beauty, and now women's health. And she's also an honoree in Amazing Women in E-commerce 2024, thanks to her innovative approach. And I'm so happy to be here with you. Please add anything that I've missed and tell us about Bonafide.
Yes. Thank you so much, Anya, for such kind introduction. I'm really blushing right now. So I'll tell a little bit more about Bonafide. Bonafide is an innovative health company focused on developing scientifically validated hormone-free, drug-free supplements and medical devices to address common women's concerns and improve their quality of life. So our products are recommended by over 18,000 doctors and trusted by more than 1 million women. Bonafide, as you said, is a 9-figure brand with double-digit growth, and a big part of that success is approaching personalization and testing as a engine growth. And growing our conversion rate and AOV by 30%.
Thank you so much for this intro. So today, okay, wait, I can't really see the, okay. I'll just say that after this, we're actually giving away gift cards for Moroccan Oil and a free CRO audit live in our booth. So yeah. Can't really see. Okay, there we go. So today's talk, we're trying to be as actionable as possible. And what we're going to do is to actually show you tests and personalization that worked and also ones that didn't work and kind of the behind the scenes. So we'll go through 8 tests, and we'll also walk through how you can create this growth engine for your brand. And spoiler, it's not rocket science. So yeah, let's go. So we have 8 tests and personalization that created over 11% increase in conversion rate each that you can run with absolutely no code. And you can actually run those prior to BFCM and make sure you're getting the most out of this critical time of the year. So let's get started. Yeah. So
Yes.
Nargiza, you're first.
Yeah, here's an interesting fact that about 99% of D2C companies have this hero banner on the homepage, but only 10% of shoppers actually click on those banners because they remind them of ads. So, and people don't like to click on ads. So we wanted to enhance the navigation and improve product discoverability by adding quick links to our homepage. And we quickly gained 3.8% of conversion rate increase. And after we understood how well she's engaging with those quick links, we decided to swap the first slot from Shop All to Quiz for new users. And this one generated additional 11.8% increase in our conversion rate. Well, actually 8%, but lifting this whole impact by its 11.8%.
Yeah, and that's kind of straight decrease to your CAC because this is an increase of conversion rate for new customers, and it's even more important during BFCM because you get a kind of a flux of new customers to your site. So this is so easy to set up. And I do recommend fashion brands to kind of iterate. Sometimes what works here are like these textual links, but sometimes what works are actually like image-based quick navigation, right? So this is the one. I'll go to the next one. And yeah, so I know there are a lot of fashion brands here, so we'll give some examples that worked from fashion as well. This one is from Ferherdy. So the scenario here is that she added something to cart and it looks awesome, but many shoppers actually ask themselves, I mean, can I return it if it doesn't fit? You know, sometimes things that look amazing on a model won't look the same on most of us. And what we've seen is that 16% of shoppers, actually that's something that Shopify themselves announced, that 16% of shoppers will abandon their cart if they don't clearly understand what is the returns policy. So what we did is we just added this 60-day returns at just below the call to action, and that increased the conversion rate of Ferherdy in over 11%. And I mean, most brands, right? I'm sure most of you don't have the same returns policy for all of your products, right? So maybe products that are in final sale, right, are products that are not eligible for returns. And that's why I see a lot of, wait, let's see that it works. Guys, there's supposed to be a video here. Okay. Does that work? Okay, so a lot of brands are we doing this? Okay, we're almost there. So a lot of brands are actually, wait, we need to go back a little bit. So a lot of brands telling me that they don't want to add this returns policy on their cart because they're worried that not all of their products are actually eligible for returns. And there's a really quick fix for that. You can just personalize it only for users with carts with eligible products for returns. It takes minutes. We have a video showing you how simple it is to do it. But you'll have to trust me. The second reason why I'm hearing more brands saying that they don't have their returns policy out there is that because they don't understand the trade-off, right? They want to understand like what will happen to my returns. Maybe that will actually increase my returns, right? And that's actually a valid concern. And what you want to do there is to just A/B test, and you can also measure your returns and profitability out of the box and see the trade-off between conversion rate, profitability, and returns. It's very simple to do nowadays, especially if you're in Shopify. Yeah, so the videos didn't load. We're just gonna continue a little bit here. And
yes. So every brand I know, and probably everyone in this room, have cart abandonment email flow set up, and it makes total sense. So how is website different? Why on the website we show this tiny cart icon? So we decided to display the products that she already added to cart on the home page with enticing CTAs, like your cart is waiting and go to your cart. And this increased our conversion rate by over 7%.
Yeah.
And also, before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a lot of shoppers come to the website and they add products to their cart, waiting for those deals. So why don't we show those products on the homepage and invite her to shop? And maybe a really great iteration to this test would be, instead of sending her to cart, send her directly to checkout.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really shortens the funnel tremendously, and also super important for BFCM, because a lot of users are actually filling out their carts, right? And then they're waiting for the promotion to hit in order to complete their purchase. But they're doing that with multiple brands, and you want this to go as fast as possible for them. Okay, so on to the next one. Okay, so how many brands have kind of product recommendations in their cart, right? How many of you have product recommendations on your product page? Sorry, talked about cards so much. Okay, show of hands, most. Yeah, so, sorry, I'm gonna go back and, okay. So, a lot of brands currently are actually landing their users on the product pages, right? And the reason for that is we have all these programmatic, meta ads and so on, but most shoppers actually don't purchase the first product they see, right? They want to see more products. And the way that they're navigating from your product pages is actually through visual navigation through your product recommendations, right? But most brands have only like this one product being shown with kind of a horizontal scroll. And a horizontal scroll is not something that is very natural for shoppers. So what we did here, and by the way, this is one of Shopify's fastest growing brands. And what we did here is we simply added personalized product recommendations, AI-driven product recommendations, but only with kind of a collection kind of view, right? And with a vertical scroll. Now, a vertical scroll is something that is very natural for us, right? We do this on Instagram, we do this on LinkedIn, we do this on TikTok. And it actually shows much more products so that users can actually find the product that will inspire them visually. So we A/B tested that, and that increased the conversion rate in close to 7%, which is huge. Again, it's even more important for new customers because they're just getting to know your brand, and you want to have as much visual inspiration as possible. Again, mostly for fashion brands. And one other thing to mention here, once my clicker kind of works, is that if you have out of stock an option for shoppers to get to out of stock items during BFCM, instead of showing those users a description of a product they won't be able to buy, you can change the location of your product recommendation to inspire them to continue kind of navigating to another product, right? So kind of showcasing what's next for this user so they won't get kind of discouraged. We've done that with the hoodie. It's actually a brand of one of the Shark Tanks in Australia, and that increased their conversion rate in 9%, which is huge, and again, super, super important for BFCM. And Nargiza, I know that you also had like a journey around product recommendations.
Yes, Bonafide is a supplements company, and we only have 8 hero products, each designed for specific health concerns. We also have bundles and value packs, but very small catalog. So this creates a challenge for product recommendations because you really don't have as many products to offer. So we had to experiment with a lot of iterations and different strategies across different site pages and across different types of audiences to find those winning strategies. So only this year we launched 13 different strategies, and only 9 of those actually won. But we were able to generate over $500,000 in revenue and increase units per transaction by 27.7%. And one size doesn't fit all. So you have to experiment and iterate and test things that actually work for your customer. And this is so easy to do with the personalization engine that Visually has.
Okay, yeah, iteration is critical to actually succeed, and we'll talk about it next. Okay, next is the call to action.
Yes, so this one is so easy. It's actually mind-blowing how those simple things can create a huge difference. So this is our quiz, which, by the way, has very, very amazingly high conversion rate. So after she completes the quiz, so like that's the page where she lands, and we asked her for the email. And we wanted to increase the email sign-up, so we swapped the CTA from next to 20% off. And we not only were able to increase the email sign-ups, but we also improved our conversion rate, increased our conversion rate by 24%. This is so crazy, and this 20% offer was always there. It just, she never really saw it. And putting it where she's clicking just makes so much sense. So those results, it's really rewarding to see.
Yeah, it's amazing what hierarchy can do here, and it's so interesting to see that around the decision making areas of like the call to actions, you can really make a huge difference with really not so much of an effort. So on to the next. Yeah, so here it's something we did with Canopy. So shoppers that never purchased from a brand before, a lot of brands are trying to kind of navigate everyone in the same way, right? So let's say that they're arriving to the homepage, and then they're like links to collection pages, okay? But new shoppers are not ready to navigate to those collection pages yet. So what we did here is that, like, very, very simply, we just added product reviews beneath the homepage banner. We just actually changed the location. It was just down below. And for those new shoppers, that increased the conversion rate in 6.5%. So basically, new shoppers would just see the homepage banner and then the reviews and then everything else to kind of prepare them to navigate to collections, instead of like pushing them to collection when they're probably not ready yet. Now, we've seen this work throughout many brands, but different messages and different components work differently for different brands. So for example, for some brands, it's around PR or explaining their product better, right? So iteration is key here, but again, just as you wouldn't have the same ads or emails to new versus returning customers, you shouldn't have the same on-site experience. And if you do, you're losing out on a lot of growth. So on to the next. We're at 7? Oh, okay.
Okay. So this was one of our first big tests that not only was led by CRO initiatives, but by brand decision to lead with the relief first strategy. So historically, we had categories based on life stage or need, like menopause and PMS or intimacy, and our products with very pharmaceutical and clinical names were nested under those categories. So this was not very intuitive, especially for new shoppers, because the name would not say what is this product for. So we decided to simplify navigation, remove those categories, and really focus on relief first messaging. So here you would see that we launched this new campaign where It was like more simplified, and now the product names became secondary, and like the description, and were listed under the description. So we thought it's so easy, it's so intuitive now for the new shoppers to understand what this product's for and to really find a solution they're looking for, that it's going to win, like no brainer. But we lost. We lost by 1.5%. And then we were like, hey, maybe our thesis is still right. It's still a good idea, but maybe we got the hierarchy wrong. So we started iterating and do a lot of other tests. And like here, it's a very good representation where like what you will read first, and then what, and then. So from a loss, this became a big win. Our conversion rate increased by 8%, and we were actually, rolled out to the website. So I think Saro, it's not only about conversion rates and improving revenue and decreasing CACs, but it's also about understanding your customer better.
Okay, and I know we need to hurry a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of jump through things. This one is really important. If you're starting CRO, start with your checkout. A lot of people start with their homepage just because of the frequency illusion, where they see the homepage all the time. Although only 30% of revenue usually goes through the homepage, you want to start with your checkout because 100% of your revenue goes through the checkout. This is something we did with Clean Fresh Thread, where, by the way, checkout extensibility compatible. So basically, we just added the right USPs right below the call to action. We found the right USPs, and that increased our conversion rate in over 11%. Start with checkout. It's 100% of your revenue. You want to influence your conversion rate there. I'm going to jump through a few things here. And okay, how do we actually go through optimization? So basically, we start with a backlog. You want to list all of your ideas in just like one list that you can then go ahead and start prioritizing and optimizing continuously. Would you like to?
And you can get those ideas from competitors' websites or Amazon, or talk to your growth team, and you can see what things work in our ads or on the landing pages, or talk to CX team. Like they have this conversation, the first-hand conversation with your customers, and they can get that feedback. So it's also enhances the cross-functional collaboration when you ask the questions, when you create those ideas, and then you list all of those ideas. We use Asana as our backlog, and then you optimize. So you ideate, you analyze, and you look what makes sense, what you need to prioritize. So what would you prioritize? Homepage redesign or checkout optimizations? Well, only 30% of revenue comes from homepage, but 100% of revenue comes from checkout. So it's definitely checkout. And like really, we need to focus on things that's gonna bring the impact first, and then test. And really now testing became so easy. It's a great time to test. What previously took us months now takes us minutes with Visually. And we are blown away with the results that we have been seeing with Visually, and how easy it is to launch things and how much impact we are seeing, the bottom line.
Yeah, and how many A/B tests can you actually run?
As many as possible. So a lot of brands think like, oh, you can only run one test at a time. This is wrong. You should run as many tests as possible. And most of those examples that we showed you today, you should and must run in parallel, because like you can optimize so many things and like not leave that revenue behind.
Yeah, and this is a famous Jeff Bezos quote where he says that their growth is actually based on the amount of tests, and he knows a thing or two about e-commerce. And this is a good example where you can actually see that if you run 60 tests and you have 30% success rate, then you actually have 27% increase in revenue annually. But then if you run 100 or 200 or 300, you can get all the way to over 100% increase in your perception value. And that's excluded the compound effect that it has on top, and the kind of flip side of that is
yes, that you will fail, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to fail, because like the flip side of 30% of success is actually 70% of failure, and you need to iterate, you need to test, and you need to grow, and like don't be afraid to do all of those things.
okay. So if you're a Shopify Plus brand, we're here giving like CRO audits live. We can actually show you how this can work on your site and offer A/B tests right here. We're here on the booth right outside the exit on the right-hand side. And we also are giving away $100 for gift cards in Moroccan oil. We would love, I'll be there, and I would love to help everyone A/B test and personalize their site. I know we're kind of out of over time. This was us, and these are our LinkedIn's. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope this was helpful.